My anxiety went sky high with an avoidant, but not with an alcoholic. It's not like an apples to apples comparison. If the question is why does my anxiety get kicked up with one person, but it doesn't get kicked up with another? Usually it's because the person who kicks up your anxiety is tapping into something that you have a resonant narrative around. So a partner who is avoidant is, if you're more anxious, they are often expressing just the other side of your anxious coin. Avoidance is not the absence of anxiety, just as anxiety is not the absence of avoidance. Oftentimes people are avoidant because they are intensely anxious. They enact deactivating strategies, which are thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that put distance between themselves and their emotions, because the emotions are typically highly anxious. So you wouldn't meet someone who's dismissive who doesn't know the experience of anxiety, because they are, whether it is consciously or unconsciously, avoiding the anxiety they feel. Now, anxious people are avoidant, but they are looking to. Avoidant people avoid it by cutting themselves off internally. Anxious people try to avoid it by reaching out and filling the void with things to alleviate the anxious feeling. So they're just accessing different tools for dealing with anxiety. Everybody's dealing with attachment anxiety. We're just figuring out different ways to cope with it. Okay. And this is why oftentimes people who are anxious can actually, they can do things like people please, say yes when they mean no. They try to suss out what somebody else wants and become that thing. And you can see even in those behaviors, what happens, they're avoiding the essence of who they are and what they really want, because there's some anxiety around that, not being worthy, not being good enough, not being up to snuff, so to speak, not being lovable. So that's an avoidance going on inside. Right. And we're finding external things to relieve the anxiety, which is typically a temporary solution, which is why I say, when we say things like, well, my attachment style changes according to whom I'm with, that's why we want to say, oh no, right? No. I notice when I'm with this person, there's a feeling of that they stimulate a feeling of anxiety, that their behaviors stimulate a feeling of anxiety. And so as a secure person, I'm noticing when I have anxiety. And so when I have anxiety, what is that? That is a normal and healthy cue letting me know something about the dynamic the other person may be going through. And it may be, it's like they just stepped up and rang the bell, and your bell went off, right? Your bell went off. And now the real you is inside the house. You are not the bell. You are the person inside the house. Okay. So they rang your bell. You heard the bell go off. And so now you have the opportunity to go peek through the hole and decide, oh, is this somebody I want to let in? That's how a secure person experiences anxiety. An anxious person is the bell. An anxious person is the bell. And so they don't make the choice. They're like, oh, I'm just this because they are that, because they rang me. So now I have to make all this noise. Right? So this is why getting in touch with your circuitry, with your transcendent self, is so fundamental, because now it's not that you never hear the bell. It's not that the bell will never be rung again. It is that you aren't the bell anymore. You're the person inside who hears it and makes choices about whether you will or won't open the door. Okay. So, and so usually if the bell is rung, it is because there is some resonance in the narrative going on between you. So I hope that helps answer that question. Also, remember to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. I put out videos once a week, and I wouldn't want you to miss out.